Okay. Okay, you're on. Great. So welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for jumping on this morning. And I want to give a special thanks to Ann Ford and Carol Klein for participating in this end of the month challenge that has brought us all to this moment in time, and for being awesome leaders on this team, and for showing up and all the work you put in to get us all to this moment in time. Yay, Fairy Wand. Yay, love it. And I really want to just take a moment to introduce our guest speaker this morning. I told this story in Sacramento, and I have to tell it again because it's one of my favorite memories of Miriam. I saw Aana Camp about 4.5 years ago with Jeff Olson in Glendale, and she talked about why she was doing Miriam, and it's going to make me cry even talking about it. And I started crying when I listened to her why. And her big dream was to help 100 people earn $100,000 a year. She was just getting started. You know, she had come through a really lot of hardship, which she may or may not tell you. And it was all about everyone else. It was all about who she could help. It wasn't about the big car, the jet, or any of the other things that now maybe it's grown into. But it was about helping others. And she has been such an inspiration in terms of being a servant leader. And here she is, 4.5 years later, one of the most successful people in this company. And she's more about helping others than ever before. And here she is doing this webinar for us today with incredible gems and tips. And she's not going to benefit at all from this, other than it's going to make her heart really happy to help others. And that, to me, is really the epitome of true servant leadership. And I just bow down to you, Aana, and I thank you so much for showing up today and for being the incredible servant leader with the biggest heart on the planet. So thank you.
Oh my goodness, Allison, I would not miss it. I got your message, your Facebook message on Messenger, and I lit up when I saw it. And you know, I have to tell you that you guys are so lucky to have the leaders that we do here. Ann Ford, Carol Klein, Allison, you guys all are just so near and dear to my heart, and I have such fond memories of each of you, all different cute little stories that I'm not going to take time to share. But Allison, I will tell you that every time I see you, no matter what event it is, you are always so gracious, so kind. You have just the most uplifting and amazing things to say to me, and I always get a text or a Facebook message or something on my wall from you. And I just have to tell you that that means the world. And as a team, you guys are really lucky to have that, because we, you know, embrace each other in this business. And I know the encouragement that I've gotten from the beginning, when people didn't believe, and I didn't believe in myself, there were a lot of people that did believe in me. And I'm so grateful that, still a lot of background noise there, sorry guys. I'm so grateful for people like you guys in my life. And so, of course, the answer is a resounding yes when I heard from you. Absolutely love to come and talk to the team. And so if you're on the Zoom this morning, most of you know my story, but I was $50,000 in credit card debt, losing my home 5.5 years ago now. Never thought I would be doing something like this. Have never had success doing something like this. And when I saw the product work on 10 of my friends, I actually jumped in, guys, with only having used the product 3 nights. But I couldn't sleep thinking about if this thing was really real. And it was the best decision I ever made. It was a credit card that should not have gone through, because my credit cards were pretty maxed out at the time. And that was the decision that changed my life. And so really, I knew that I needed the money, but you're right, Allison. I decided I'm not going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on other people. And so today, you know, my life is amazing. I'm really pretty extraordinary. 89 NMDs now, so 89 six-figure income earners and 11 millionaires. So it's pretty exciting. And a couple more will be announced at convention, so I'm really proud of that. But every one of you guys has the opportunity to have everything that you have ever wanted in this business. And so I want to start like I always do when I do a Zoom. in gratitude. And I'm going to run through some slides with you guys, and I hope this is going to be really eye-opening for you, and I hope this is going to be exactly what I hope that it is for you. And so without further ado, let me share my screen here with you guys. So here we go. Okay, so in gratitude, every morning I'm very intentional. For people that know me, you probably know that I'm very intentional about what I do, and I wake up every single morning in gratitude and with the intention of great people crossing my path. And so as I'm grateful for people, I'm always looking for how I can uplift them. And really, the picture of that is Allison. I'm going to say that again, Allison, because I don't know if you even know this about yourself, but you're so uplifting and so kind. And these are things that I practice saying to people. You know what? I love it when you what? Right? It was so funny when you remember that time right? People love to be cared for. People love to know that you're grateful for them. And these are great ways that we can be grateful for the people in our lives. The coolest thing we studied, back in school was, wasn't it great when when you came over that time and surprised me with orange juice when I didn't feel good, right? The best day we ever had was what, right? I'll always remember that time. And people, this is really important to care about people, love people, not only to be grateful for the things that we have, but also grateful for the people around us, and really take time and tell people that, whether it's your kids, your friends, people on your team, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, all the people that you run across, even the grocery checker. You're so great at what you do. I love it when you're here, and I always get in your line. Right? Whatever it is. And I just think it's really important. So spend time in gratitude today, you guys. I hope these give you some ideas on how you can be grateful for the people around you. So let's jump into a quick little content here. I actually stole this from Miriam University. I trained on it this morning early. I do a 7 a.m. Zoom on Tuesday mornings. And I talked a lot about this morning, being really results focused. And I can tell you, when I first got started in this business, I know now, I didn't know then, but I know now that I really hid behind my fear to pick up the phone and call people, my fear that somebody would say no, my fear that maybe I couldn't get somebody on a three-way call, all different things. I hid behind fears. And so I wasn't being results focused. And today I'm very intentional and very, very results focused in my business and what I do. So there's a lot of things that you could be doing. You could be pushing paper around, but if you're not focusing on the results, then we're not going to get where we want to go. Purpose driven. What is your purpose here, right? My initial purpose was to help at least 100 people. Actually, initially I said 100 women, but then I had to change that when I realized we had a lot of men that were interested in the business. But I had a purpose, right? I had a purpose. I definitely needed to pay that debt. I definitely needed to figure out what I was going to do for my future. I didn't have any way to retire, and I had a purpose for that, yes, but my purpose was bigger than that. I have a new guy that's joined my team. He's actually, I call him the king of follow-up, because he's followed up with me for 20 years. 20 years. He sells food. He has a food truck, and he goes door to door, and that's what he's done for the last over 25 years. And he makes a living doing that. And he's recently joined Miriam. And when I talked to him, I said, you're the king of follow-up. You have followed up with me for 20 years. And it's amazing how do you do that? I learned a lot from him. But his purpose is that he has a severely autistic son, and he wants a sort of foundation, right? We all have a why here. And I'm going to be really transparent and tell you that in this last year, I've had a ton of success, you guys, over the last, multiple years of doing this business. And, my husband will say, well, what do you want for your birthday? And I'll say, well, I want what I have, right? Because I don't need another thing. I don't really want another thing. I want experiences in my life, things I want to make memories and build memories. But I was talking to David Bird, and I realized that I had stopped dreaming really big. And only because I feel so fulfilled in my life, I feel like I just couldn't have, one more thing. I'd like to have some experiences, and I'd like to really have the experience of helping a lot more people, right? But
I knew that I had to press back in. And I think some of us, we forget why we do this business. And that 3-letter word is such an important word. There's so many other ways to explain it, explain that word, other ways, but that's the way that we say it. So what is your purpose? What do you want to get out of this, right? Because the things that we do every single day are easy not to do. Brad and Amanda did a great job last night on Miriam University talking about the 10 core commitments. And those are the things that we do. But they're so simple not to do, because how many times has there been a market party and you don't have a guest, or maybe your guest canceled and you don't go? And I'm just going to say really transparently, I haven't wanted to go either sometimes, right? I'm tired too. I have a busy life outside of Miriam. And sometimes, wow, my guest canceled. I don't think I'll go. But I always remember the saying, successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. So when there's a time when I feel like I just am not willing to do that, or I don't want to do that, I realize that it's the very thing I need to do. And if we don't have a purpose and we're not centered in what we're doing here, then this will get away from us, because we have no focus, we have no purpose. And having that massive action plan is important. That's why we have goals. That's why we press into what we're doing at the, every single month, what the goal is for the month, what our SMART goals are, are those goals that are important to do. And so if being intentional is that massive plan of action, and that equals your dream life. So what is your dream life? Well, I'm going to share with you mine, and I hope that it inspires you to dream bigger than you're dreaming now. Okay. So I recently made a mind movie. It's 2 minutes long and it's on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to tell you that if you want to be inspired after this, based on what I'm doing with you right now, you can go and check it out on YouTube. It's called Mind Movie. And I put it up there very recently. But it's 2 minutes and it's my affirmations along with a lot of pictures that you're going to see through the next slides here. So what do you want? Where do you want to go? Right? Do you want to relax? Would you like to take a month off, lay on the beach, not with a care in the world? Who do you want to go there with? What beach? Where? Exactly where? This is a castle in Germany. And when I look at this, I just think, man, what an awesome deal to be able to travel through Europe and see the castles that are there. Another photo of Germany. And when I look at these images, guys, I picture myself on that stairway, and I picture myself walking all the way down to the water's edge and thinking about what that would feel like. What would that look like, right? A clear intention with an elevated emotion really does move you toward every single thing that you've ever wanted. This is Cuba, right? Beautiful, vibrantly colored buildings, old buildings, the history here. I would love to go to Cuba. Russia, some of the finest museums in the world are in Russia. Another one. And I can go on and on with every single name, but there's so many great images here. I'm going to go through them quickly. Switzerland. Had you thought about that? I've actually never seen an image of Switzerland in the fall, but look at how incredibly gorgeous it is. The colors are vibrant. I can smell what the smell like in the air. Another one, Switzerland. Do you guys like to travel? Do you dream about that? I'd like to have multiple homes in multiple locations, right? Friends in multiple countries. One of the things I dream about is I want to have really good friends in 5 countries. It's one of my affirmations. I say it all the time. It seems kind of crazy because I don't have super good friends in 5 countries. I have a lot of teammates now in 9 countries, but I haven't had a chance to develop really good, solid relationships, right? You can manifest anything you want if you get a clear intention on where you're going. I am remodeling our backyard, and I've been looking at images. What do I want the backyard to look like? Do I want to have an infinity pool that goes out and looks over the golf course? What is it that you want? Where do you want to go? Sometimes people say, well, I'd really like to have a ranch someday. Well, what kind of ranch do you want? Would you like it in the mountains? Do you want something in the desert? What does it look like? What would the barn look like if you had a ranch? This is my idea. I want it clean. I want it spick and span. I want beautiful animals on my ranch. And I want that picture perfect ranch someday, right? My husband and I love to ski, but how great would it be to have a mountain house that was beautiful in the summer as well, for fishing and hiking and biking and river rafting and all those great outdoor recreational things that we can do. What about this? We love skiing. This is my idea of the perfect mountain house in a ski town. This is actually in Utah. I've actually skied by this home, and I stop and I look at it and I think about it and I dream about it. And yeah, would it be great to have that? Yes. And why, if it's just my husband and I, do I need a home this big? Because I dream about my only son someday having kids, and I see filling that house up with grandkids. Are you dreaming about your future? Are you thinking about your family? Are you thinking about what you could provide for the people that you love? Are you thinking about how great it would be? I think about what a great party I would have. And I would just open it up to everybody I know in Miriam. Come on out, hop on a plane, let's go. So what else do you think about? Do you want to be in a secluded home? Do you want it quiet? Do you want to get away, right? What would it be like to actually have a home like this? Well, I think it would be a little crazy, but it's there. You know, what does it look like for you? An African safari. I've always wanted to go to Africa. Do you want to take your family there? You know, I can't imagine what it would look to see, like to see the exotic animals that you would see in Africa up close, and not in a zoo, right? I'm a city girl. I've been to zoos, but that's about it. You know, elephants in the wild. This is, by the way, a non-retouched image. This is a real sunset. This was an image just taken from someone's camera. I read all about this image when I saw it online. And when I have a minute, I go Google images of the things I want to do, because I want a clear intention. This is what excites me. This is what drives me. And you know what? Maybe you want a really luxurious African safari, right? Maybe you want to come back, and maybe you don't want to be in a canvas tent. Maybe you do want to be in a luxurious hut and come back to a bubble bath, you know, with some wonderful salt candles and lanterns. But again, look at this one. Beautiful animals in the wild. Have you ever seen a balloon festival? It is a sight to behold. I actually was in Snowmass years ago, 5 a.m. as the sun's coming up. All the balloons are laying flat on the grass for as far as you can see, and you can hear the helium firing them up. It's like, it's this really loud sound. And as the helium begins to fill the balloons, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and pretty soon they begin to lift off, and they're all throughout the sky, and it's a magnificent sight. I want to go see a balloon festival again. Exciting events bring me interesting people. It's one of my affirmations. This is actually in France, right? I looked at this twice. I kind of went, wait a minute, is this an illusion? Is this just an image that somebody conjured up, or is this real? I have to go see this in person. I'm fascinated. A camel ride. Think about that. Do you want to touch that fuzzy nose? Right? I love this picture. Yes, I do. I do want to go to Dubai. I want to see what that's like. Why wouldn't I? I've never been to Venice. I know people always say, you haven't? Seriously? I have not been to Venice, someplace I want to go. The Amalfi Coast. You guys, I can just go on and on and on. I was fascinated by this. Playa de Amor, and I was fascinated by how you get in this. So when I first saw this image, I had to read all about it and see, this is one of the most secluded beaches in the world, they say, but there's a way to get in here. Is that something you want to see? How about Greece? I'm all about that. Does this look like something you want to hike, climb? Do you want to take your family here? How about this one? Right? I never got to go on a Disney cruise when my son was younger because I was a single mom. I didn't have time for this, nor did I have the funds to do it or the time off. What do you want? Take your family on a sled, right? Are you a winter person, a summer person? The Maldives, right? What kind of boat do you want? If you wanted a boat, what would it look like? Would it look like this? This is it. This is my picture of a fabulous yacht, right? Not with one helicopter pad, with two. Why not? Go big or go home. I'm going to need these helicopters because I am going to need to come get you wherever you are, right? I don't want the biggest and the best because I want to show it off. I want the biggest and the best because I want to share it with every single person I know. And I want the freedom to make the kinds of choices that say, yes, go get my friend, grab the helicopter and go get our friend and come land back on the deck. But how luxurious and how great would it be to sit here and enjoy it, right? There I am. I'm going to cut my hair by then, I'm sure. But there I am with the toe in the water, reading, relaxing, right? Enjoying. Do you want a Lexus? Have you been to a Lexus dealership? Did you dream about this? Did you smell the leather? Have you taken your picture with it? What are you doing to dream bigger than you dream today? This is a car I've always wanted. It's a Fiat Jolly. I can't decide if I want red or Nerium blue. I saw one the other day in pink, and I had to go online and go, I got to put that on my vision board. So you guys, these are the images that I look at. These are the things I think about. Who can I share this with? How can I enjoy life? Where would I go? What would I do? This is my dream car. I thought I just popped that in there for you guys. And, I say, my beautiful white Bentley is coming to me now as I read this. And there it is. I look at it every day. And Allison, you alluded to this. I do want a jet. Yeah. Will I ever have one? I hope so. Right? Not again because I want to show it off and be that girl that has a jet. I want ease of travel. I want to make choices to go anywhere, anytime. And you guys, it's here. All of it. Every single bit of it is here for you if you want it. Get real. Guys, we've got only 9 days left to go to get real. And I want to talk about right now maximizing the month for Get Real. What do you want if you have a clear intention and you know where you're going by the end of this month, and you've taken the time to set your goals, which I hope that you have, your leaders on this call, and you're here for a reason, right? You're taking time out of your day. There's really important things that we need to be doing. And I say this all the time. I've been saying it every time, everywhere, to everyone. The number one thing that you can do for your life in the year 2017 is get real. And I know that your leaders will do anything to help you get there. Beg, borrow, steal, planes, trains, automobiles, call in slick, whatever it takes. It has been the biggest thing for me. And you guys know when I first started, I didn't have the money to go. And my sponsor would say to me, he'd say, listen, you know what? You got to go. Did you get a ticket? And I'm like, oh, I'll get one. I was dragging my feet. And it was 6 months out. And he hounded me. And finally, with one of my first paychecks, I bought a ticket to our first Get Real. And it was months out. And then he started to hound me. He'd say, how many people are you going to have? How many people are you going to have at the conference? And I'd say, well, I don't know. And honestly, you guys, inside, I didn't even know if I'd have anybody on my team. Like, what number would that look like? Because I was new and I was just getting started and I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I'd even have a team. But he hounded me and hounded me and hounded me. And finally I said, oh my gosh, all right. I'll have 50 people. I'm going to get 50 people to the national conference. And I thought, I don't even know how I'm going to have 50 people on my team. And everywhere we went and every single thing we did, we were intentional about it. Every RRP we did, everybody we talked to, we said, you know what? Have you heard of Nerium? Have you ever heard of a product or a company called Nerium? And we'd say, you ought to come to the natural conference. You're not going to believe it. It's going to be amazing. And it's in San Diego. It was San Diego that year. And every time, everywhere we went, we spoke it into existence. And by the time I got to that first national conference, I had 127 brand partners that came with me. And you guys, my business blew up. It went absolutely crazy. Everybody came out of there with their hair on fire. And 3 months later, I hit 3-star. You guys, there is nothing that you can do for your life in 2017 that is bigger and better and more important than getting there. And that's why I'm spending some time on it. If you didn't already figure out how passionate I am, I'm extremely passionate about this. We're so excited. And I know that if anyone has a desire to go, that your leaders and, we'll all help you get there. So right now, four things to do to maximize the rest of your month. I talk a lot with my team about, first week of the month, what should we be doing? We should really amp up our personal prospecting, right? And we need to do that because the goal is by the end of the month, we want to make sure that we have a few new brand partners, new customers drip out, right, of our funnel. So we start the month with our feet on the ground running. And what we do on my team is we really work hard on doubling up the prospecting. And right now that's super important because we had a lot of people not thinking about business, distracted by the 4th of July. And with Get Real coming up, this is the time to amp up and double your activity. So, you should have a very clear intention for what your month looks like week 1, right? What am I doing? Planning the day before the day begins, the night before. I know who I'm talking to. This is what I do personally. I know who I'm talking to tomorrow. What prospects am I working on in my personal business? And I'm putting that in the cracks and crevices of my day around maybe 3-way calls or Zooms or whatever else I have going on. Maybe it's your work day. Maybe it's something that whatever you're doing in your day, right? Around your kids, your family, your work. And I'm very intentional about that. I'm very intentional about following up. Who did I talk to last week? Where am I this week? Who do I need to follow up with? Guys, I think it's a place that we really fall short. The follow-up is key. It's very, very important. I have followed up with people 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 18 months before they have joined this business. And I'm telling you, that's where the magic really happens, is with the follow-up. So double your activities. Sometimes we spend more time planning our outfits for conference than we do planning who we're going to talk to and doubling up our activity, planning our own business. And then, we come out of convention, we wonder what the heck happened, right? We're on fire. We're excited. We've only got another week left in the month, but we didn't do anything the first couple of weeks because we were so busy worrying about the travel and going to conference, you guys. So this is your time to do that. Really, really press in and get all your bottles out. Everything you have. You should have no inventory sitting in your shelves, nothing at home. Those are your employees. Get them out. Be really intentional about plugging in the follow-up when you come back. So 2 goals. Number 2, that was number 1. Number 2, make sure that you have your SMART goals ready. What goals are you going to what is your goal for the rest of the month? So you want these to be goals that you can accomplish, and one of the greatest things I learned from David Bird was that you really, you get better by winning, not by losing. So I make goals that I can really obtain. And I am very, there's that word again, guys, very intentional about the goals that I set for myself. So one of the goals should be a personal goal. Right now, drinking a lot of extra water, getting some exercise. I had a Zoom this morning at 7 a.m. I finished that Zoom at about 7:40. I was on my bike at 7:45 a.m. I pounded out a 2-hour ride, and I got back just in time to dry the sweat off and put something on so I could talk to you guys. So I am measured out. When this is over, I know exactly what I'm doing next. I'm actually working on my own personal business right after the Zoom. So I'm doing exactly what you guys are saying. Hydrate. That's another thing. When you travel, you've got to have a lot of water. I'm a travel bug, so I can tell you need to do that. Get yourself really ready. And then your goals for your business. Who am I going to talk to when I get there? What meetings am I going to have? If you're newer, who am I going to meet? Have the intention of meeting at least a half a dozen new people that you can connect with from all over the country. These relationships have served me really, really well. So have those SMART goals ready. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, plan the day back. Okay, the first day back, Monday, July 24th is going to be the first day back for a lot of us. Make sure you know what you're doing on that day. So if you've got a team, you want to come prepared out of there, make your notes on the way home on the plane, or gather your thoughts together on Sunday morning over your cup of coffee, go through your notes and know exactly what you're doing. I personally would recommend that you rest later in the week. Don't come home, put your feet up, do your laundry. Give it a few days before you rest, because that's when your team is the most excited. And that's when you're the most excited. So even if you don't have a big team right now, it's just a couple people, or maybe it's just you, that's the time to really take that excitement and that energy that you came out of conference with. And number 4, While you're there, focus on being in the moment. Put your cell phone away. Don't spend time in the lobby. Be present, be focused, and have an intention for what you want to learn and how you want to grow through that conference. And, you know, really having that expectation of what you want to get out of this conference is really, really key. And I think sometimes we are busy planning our outfits and then we jump on a plane and we get there and it's a lot of social, it's a lot of fun, but we forget to stop and think, what do I want to get out of this conference? What do I want to learn? How can I grow? Who can I know, right? And what do I want to get from it? And those are really the biggest key elements. I think those 4 things to having a really successful conference. It's only 9 days away. For those of you that are not going, I want to stop and I want to give you a big hug. And I want to tell you that I know that not everybody can make it. But if you could beg, borrow, steal, planes, trains, automobiles, call in slick, whatever it is, get there. But I know it's not possible for everybody. And so I want to give you a big hug and embrace you. And I want to tell you that you have a little advantage, because while we're distracted by the conference, you can be prospecting twice as much as we are and following up and really doing those parties. And you guys plan what are you doing the rest of this week and for the days right up until you go. What parties do you have on the books? Guys, I'm still in living rooms doing parties. It is the greatest, most incredible thing is working with somebody who's doing a party. I've had, if you've been ever watched me on Facebook, you can see I have RRPs in my own house. I still do it. Why? Because they work. They work like crazy. It's the number one thing. Followed by, of course, sit downs and 3-way calls. Oh my gosh. Number 1, RRPs. Number 2, 3-way calls. So I know I'm preaching to the choir because you guys are here for a reason. You know about that. 79 million people are going to start a home-based business in the next 5 years. Why would they not be coming to your team? So what I want to tell you is the most important thing that I did early on was I thought, I want a big team. I have to get ready. I have to prepare myself. If I get good at this business, I will be able to help other people be good at this business. I will have people that are willing to follow me if I get good at this business. And I'm going to be perfectly transparent and tell you that in the beginning, I just didn't want to suck anymore. I wasn't good at it. You know, in the beginning, you're not that good. But the more you do it and the more you work at it and the more you practice your craft, the better you get. And guess what? People begin to follow you. And so I did everything. I didn't miss a market party. I've missed 1 regional in 5.5 years. 1. It was when my son graduated from college. And some months I'm at more than 1 regional. And you know what? It served me because I've gotten better and better and better. And I'm still learning. But 79 people are going to start a home-based business in the next 5 years. They're coming to you right now, right? I attract positive, successful, self-motivated leaders with a burning desire who are willing to go to work. As a matter of fact, they're coming to me right now as I say this. 79 million people, guys. Why not on your team? Prepare yourself, prospect, follow up, learn how to give out 3-way, all the third-party tools, learn how to do 3-way calls. And it all starts with you doing the activity, because if you don't do the activity, you can't attract the people that will also do the activity. So it all starts with each and every one of us, you guys. I just adore you. I am grateful for being on here, and I have to put this last thing up, which I saw the other day, and I made this slide because I love it. I'm going to share it all over the place. Stop acting like you live twice. Darn it. We have 1 life, 1 big, beautiful life, and this is our time. Embrace it. And I am just going to tell you, thank you so much for letting me be here with you guys and hanging out for a quick Zoom. I just appreciate you so much, and I love the relationships that I've made. And so thanks again for having me on here. And don't act like today you have lots of time left. You don't. Act like today is the only day you have. So in all that you do, show up and be fabulous.
Thank you so much, Aana. You were just such a rock star. Love you so much. Thank you.
Oh, all right, you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys at the conference.
Thanks so much. It was awesome.
You.